everybody, Phil Easy here. I'm super excited because we get to do some garlic. This is the final stage of garlic before you'd get it ready to sell it if you're going to sell it or put it up for your season. Will be done until we then plant in the fall. So this is one of my favorite parts. I'm going to take you through how I prep my garlic, and I'll take you right through how you'd prep it if you were wanting to get it super nice looking to sell it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, your notification bell, and thumbs up if you like this. So here we go. You don't need many things to take care of your garlic at this stage. I used a nice pair of scissors, and you'll want some sort of scrub brush. This is just one of those dollar something ones you might find in a Walmart or something like that. Not plugging Walmart. And then a tray. A really cheap version of this, which I didn't happen to have any of, is just use some beer flats, those cardboard trays. They work awesome because you'll want to use a couple trays. One of them is going to be for your bulbs that you're processing and all the debris is going to fall off of it, and the other tray will be where we place our bulbs when we've cleaned them. So first thing to do is to take a look at a bulb, the one you're going to go after. Where you want to cut it is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches up from the top of the bulb itself. And what I like to do is I'll cut a whole bunch of these and just get them into my tray, get them ready for the next step. A good pair of scissors, like I mentioned, helps on this because sometimes it's a bit tough to get through. I'm sure you could use some garden shears, would work really well. So how you know your garlic's ready for this stage where I've cut it and we're going to start to prep it is all of your material has dried out and turned crispy and orange or yellow, whatever color this is to you. That's the time at which you can start cutting this. It can sit longer. It took a little while on this one because it was pretty moist outside, so hanging underneath out of the sun worked well, but the humidity in the air made it take slightly longer to cure. So you grab a bulb, and first step I like to do is to take the first layer of skin off. So taking the skin off, I'll just rub it with my hands, kind of give it a rub over, and if it's dry and ready, you'll have a lot of it come off. And then I just rub it downwards to the bottom, and you'll see, or you may not see, but there's a little layer that's still left here. It hasn't been fully cleared. You do want to clear that layer off. I tend to just scratch at it very gently, bring it down, and sometimes you can get under it and get that done. So then we get that scraped down right to the bottom of the roots here. And once we've got it scraped to the bottom of the roots, there we go. You want to scrape it right in. If we're trying to sell this garlic and you want it to look super nice for sale, scrape her right in. Okay, now you want to trim your roots. I like to leave about 1 centimeter or 1/4 of an inch, centimeter, 1/4 of an inch or so of root, just like that. And make sure there's no stragglers if you're selling it. If you're not selling it, after this point, you don't need to go any further. This is done. And then we're going to hang it in bags, and I'll show you that in a bit. But if you want to sell it, the last step, so I'm going to make sure everything's scraped and cleared right up to the bottom of this thing. I scratch it in. Last step is to brush this out. You can brush the dirt out of the roots, and that's going to give you a really nice looking finished product. So this is probably very similar to what you might find in a grocery store. So here's a different view of how we're going to get this garlic ready. Do the quick rub with the hands, get that top layer off. Use my thumb to rub it backwards. Again, to the roots, you want to get that layer all the way back to the roots if you can. And just some little scratching, gentle, light. Get it right to the base if you're selling this and you care about how it looks. If not, this would probably be good with a bit of a trimming of the root. And then we grab the scissors here. You can see the roots. You can see the roots a bit long there. Scissors, give it a good trim. Make sure there's no long ones. It looks nice. And like I mentioned, if you're selling it, you might want to take the time to brush the dirt out of the roots and off the edge. It just gives it that nice finished look. There you go. Sometimes it might be a second layer that comes off. That's okay. So there's how I would process and get it to this point. Then what we're going to do is we'll do all these, have them in the trays, and then I'm going to hang them. So I'll take you through hanging them and how to bag them up basically and weigh them and all that. But there's your finished product right there, guys. Super fun. Now I got to do it about 380 times. Yay. Here we go, everybody. The final garlic haul. So here's the final product. Got these bags really inexpensive on Amazon, not plugging them at all, but source it out. Mesh orange bags is what I looked under and finally found it. I get a whole bunch of these. You just tie it at the one end, it's already sealed at the bottom. What I did was I went through and I weighed out 2-pound bags. Again, up to you if you're selling them, depends on what kind of weights you want to sell and how much you've produced. 2-pound bags seemed like a good size for me. And I also went through and selected, I had them all laid out and I selected the largest and I'd put them to the one side all the way down to the smallest and the least amount of quality. So what you see in my hand here is this will be my seed garlic. This will be what we end up putting back into the garden. It's the biggest and best stuff. I'm selecting the champion strains so I can get those to continue to get stronger and stronger, and we have bigger and bigger garlic. But I wanted to show you guys that, and then hanging wise, we'll just end up hanging this. You can put a screw in a rafter, whatever, in a dark place, semi-dark, lots of airflow, not too cold, not too hot. And this garlic should last you a long time, guys. So we pick out the nicest garlic, the largest garlic, the healthiest garlic, and this will go back into the garden. This will be our seed garlic. And that way I'll propagate or I'll put forward the strongest strains. Now the other garlic, there's smaller garlic. These didn't turn out quite as big. These ones I might sell depending on how much I have and what I plan on growing for next year's crop. So I may sell a few bags of those. And then the worst garlic of all was this garlic. They're already split open, had very thin paper layers. This is being saved for personal use. I'll be putting this to use in our kitchen. So that's just the different ways I look at the different grades of garlic and what I do with them. Again, thanks for watching, guys.